Let's talk for a few minutes about photo walks, specifically with street photography, specifically in London, specifically the photo walk that I went on in London last year with a giant group of people that I didn't know and had not ever met before. So I went on this photo walk hosted by a wonderful street photographer. His channel is called Optical Wander. If you've never heard of him before, check out his channel, give him a follow. He's a really great photographer, really cool teacher in the photography community. And he offers a lot of resources, oftentimes for free, to photographers, no matter where you are in the world. So I live in the United States. To be transparent with you, I was a flight attendant at the time. That's the only way I was able to go. So I'm a flight attendant, right? I'm not anymore, but I was. And I picked up a trip to London. I worked the flight over there. We landed early in the morning in London. I got like a 2-hour nap in. I got up and I left my hotel and I got to this photo walk that started at like 2:30, 3 o'clock. I am not familiar with London. I have been there several times as a flight attendant. I'm not familiar with the area. I was a sleepy gal, just here trying to network and learn something new and have some fun. We started in Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. And from there, we just kind of walked around. It was raining. I had my umbrella with me because my camera is not waterproof. But from the park, we continued on. We went around to a bunch of places. I think we went to Bank. I know we went to St. Paul's Cathedral. We went to this big intersection. I have no clue where it was, but it was this giant, like 4 or 5 way intersection. We went to this like outdoor area where there were like businesses and stuff. There was a wedding going on there. It was a big archway with, let me know in the comments if you know where all this is. And then we were on some really pretty grounds near St. Paul's Cathedral. And then the group went on from there. I did not, because the walk started at 2:30. I think that's when I got to the park initially. It was like 5:30. The only thing I've had to eat in 48 hours is a peanut butter sandwich. I should probably go get dinner. So it was a ton of fun. That was the one and only proper photo walk I've ever been on where it includes like a large group of people. My only photography experience was with portraits at the time, which I still do, and I still love portrait photography. But street photography just holds a special little place in my heart. After that day though, it was like a fire was lit inside of me to go out and pursue street photography. I would just go take my camera with me on my trips and I would walk around and see what inspires me, see what I could get. I don't know why I didn't do it before. I don't know if it's just because of my location. Like I do live in a small town in the Midwest. The closest large city is like 2 hours away from me. So I don't know if that's why I didn't get into it, or maybe it's just because I thought that, you know, my gear was limiting. If you are interested in street photography, don't let your gear or lack of gear stop you. If you have a smartphone, use it. Start where you are. Start where you're at. Do what you can with what you have. That is my most favorite saying, because a lot of times with anything, people think, well, I'm not ready to do that, or I don't have everything that I need to do that. Well, do it anyways. Just start. Just do it. I had a Canon Rebel T5 and a 50mm 1.8 lens. Not the best setup for street photography, but it's also not terrible. I could still get some pretty cool shots with that gear. Is it ideal? No. Would I like better gear? Sure. But do I have it at the moment? No. Is it gonna hold me back from going? No. I'm just gonna go. Something I was worried about, which ended up being true, was that there weren't gonna be a ton of ladies in the street photography space at this photo walk. Now, please, I feel like I need to add a disclaimer to this video. Photography is for everybody. However, in my experience, just my experience, this is just me talking, nobody else, I don't see a lot of women in street photography. If you know of other women in the street photography space, leave their names in the comments. I would love to follow them, encourage them, and all the things, because I showed up to this photography group. I think I saw like 4 or 5 other gals out of like the 200 photographers there. And I talked to a few of them, or I just at least smiled. Again, I was really tired, so like my social battery was super low because I was exhausted. When regularly, if I was well rested, I probably would have sparked more conversations with more people. Probably would have networked a little bit better, but I don't really network at all. I'm just like, I'm here. I'm here to get the experience and go home. My biggest advice if you're looking for photo walks is to go. Follow street photographers. A lot of times they host things like this where any photographer can come. Take a friend if you would feel more comfortable. I was a little nervous about going alone because obviously I'm not going to know anybody who's there. When you're not familiar with the area you're in, if you are with a big crowd and you don't know anybody, you're gonna feel a little out of place. And that's kind of how I felt. I'm just like, I just don't know anybody and I'm here by myself. Go anyways. Still always be situationally aware. I can get back on the tube and go back to my hotel, or I can go to another stop and just kind of wander around by myself. So the biggest leap for me with street photography was attending that photo walk. And whenever I traveled afterwards, I would just take my camera with me and see what I could find, see what inspired me, and just go out and create. If you have a community or if you are building a community, great. Be safe, always be safe. And just go out and learn from each other, network with other photographers or other creatives in general, and just go out and create. Go and do. Do and go. If you're in the Midwest like me, let me know. I feel like we could use more photography community in this area because cornfields are only interesting for so long. And then you're like, I gotta go out and explore. So yeah, I'm Heather. And if you're interested in photography or graphic design or anything creative, consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next video.